welcome to Winning Wednesday on another daily GenCast recorded live Wednesday, January 8th. Today we're talking 5 easy ways to take control of your personal finances with Brittney Castro, a certified financial planner, founder and CEO of Financially Wise Women, and a TV personality. So I'm so excited to bring her on live. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up live. This is Jennifer Donogh. I'm your host of the daily live webcast called GenCast here on YFELive.com. It happens Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Today's topic is Winning Wednesday. My guest today is Brittney Castro, and she's actually someone that we featured on the show in the past as a winning young female entrepreneur. So you know today's going to be good. We featured her as being winning because of her focus and her drive, which is always something that is refreshing to see as a young female entrepreneur. It's very inspiring. If you don't follow her on Instagram already, make sure that you do so. So Brittney, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring you on the show. Thank you so much for coming with us this morning.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for having me. Winning Wednesday also matches Financially Wise Women, which I throw. So it's perfect.
There we go. So Brittney, I wanted to bring up something interesting that you posted this morning on Instagram. So like I mentioned, if you don't follow Brittney already, she's just Brittney Castro, the same as her Twitter. If you're watching on YFELive.com, you see the link there. But Brittney, you actually posted the cover of Elle magazine with Mindy Kaling on, which everyone has been talking about. It's very exciting to see her on there. She's a role model, but you said something along the lines of 2014 is going to be the year of real women being authentic and sharing their message with the world. So Brittney, in that respect, I'm going to start it off by asking, who's the real Brittney Castro, and how are you sharing that with the world?
Wow, what a question. The real Brittney Castro. Honestly, I shared that because I think it's so powerful for women to know that we don't have to be these perfect people. That I think so many women struggle with this concept of being perfect, being thin enough, good enough, smart enough, sexy enough, spiritual enough, and rich enough. And for me, part of my message with Financially Wise Women is to help women find their true, authentic power, which honestly just means being who you are in the world and not worrying so much about what others think or might say or, comment. And finances are a huge part of that, because I think the more education we have with our money and the more knowledge and wisdom we have around managing our money, the more power we can tap into to really create a life that is authentic to us, a life that we love, whether that means being a $1 million owner, building a business owner, or maybe working at a job, or, traveling around the world, or being a house mom and staying at home with the kids. Whatever it means for you, knowing that you have the power to use your money to create that life is so cool. And that's who I am. I'm just a student like everybody else, and on the same journey everybody else is on, really just trying to honor my own truth and find more and more confidence in myself and my mission, and just stay true to who I really am and what I really enjoy in this world.
All right, so that's a great segue for getting into our 5 tips. So you wrote this down as being our 5 easy ways to take control of your personal finances. And since you were saying something along the lines of, being able to be exactly who we want to be, whether it's a millionaire or if travel is our priority. So I'm assuming that these tips are going to really round out, depending on, it doesn't matter if your goal is necessarily to be a millionaire or to travel, right? This is like a broad type of a thing. So your first tip was to schedule weekly money dates.
Yes. So money is something that's in our life forever. So the sooner we can just see it as another relationship that we have to honor and, spend time with money, the easier it becomes. And I was on a show last night, and there's a question around people not having financial education and how there's the gap between the rich and the poor, and it's widening. And, look, I definitely am an advocate for financial planning and financial literacy, but the reality is everybody, whether you're rich or poor, making lots of money or not lots of money, has to schedule a money date and manage their money weekly. Just because you have more money doesn't mean you don't spend more time with it. You actually spend a lot more time with it. So one of the things that I found is that if you make things fun, you're more likely going to do them for the long haul. And money dates are just something that you do every week. I recommend my clients put an hour block in their calendar, a recurring event where they update their budget, they review their finances for the week, they talk about goals that they have, especially if you're planning with a significant other. You just review your finances, and it doesn't have to be this daunting, overwhelming, stressful activity. It's actually just part of your lifestyle, reviewing everything and making sure you're managing your money in the most efficient way. So I love money dates because it kind of incorporates that fun element, which is so important to have, especially when we're working with our money.
That's one of the reasons why I really like your brand as far as the certified financial planner goes, is because I can relate to you. You're not all about, suit and tie and keeping it really strict and proper, that type of a thing, but you walk the talk, you live a lifestyle that's fun, yet at the same time you're focused and driven, like I was saying earlier. So the second tip that you gave us is to commit 20 minutes a week to reading about personal finance.
Yes, so this can be in addition to your money date, or if it's too much, just make it part of your money date initially. But going hand in hand with lifestyle, what you just talked about, yes, I'm a big believer in living a life that you really love, and using your money to create that life. It takes time. It's not something that will happen overnight, but I think a lot of people get very overwhelmed with finance, and it's this big daunting subject that no one really is taught about growing up. So make it easy, it's step by step, day by day. So just commit to reading 20 minutes about personal finance a week, and you could obviously read my stuff on financiallywisewomen.com, or you can pick up a book. You can go online. Information. We don't have a lack of information these days. The problem is people just don't make money and personal finance a priority. So make it simple. Just spend 20 minutes. Don't overwhelm yourself. Pick one subject. Maybe you're just going to start with budgeting, and you're going to learn different strategies and tips around budgeting. And then once you kind of feel you're comfortable with that subject, you can move on to another subject. But again, with knowledge comes power, and the best thing you can do is just read and start to learn some of these concepts so they're not overwhelming and scary.
Well, and it's funny that you're talking about this, because Courtney Tarnow and at Ubrin, they're both saying that putting it on the calendar is a great idea. Courtney actually said that she informally did it without putting it on the calendar and fell off the wagon.
Oh, good.
And so I like the idea that you make, even I'm a big fan of alliteration, obviously, with Winning Wednesday. You could make a Money Monday or something like that. And Monday nights have sit down with a bottle of wine and go through your money, doing something like that. So again, I really like the idea of keeping it informal, or just fun, adding that element into it. So the third tip that you said is to talk to people you look up to.
In finances especially. So this is a little bit tricky because most people still don't talk about money on a regular basis or as an open dialogue. But I think one of the best things you can do in business and in life is find people you look up to and mimic what they're doing in their lives. So if you have a mentor and you really can see that they're managing their money and their finances, and they're making good money, or maybe they're traveling a lot and using their money in a similar way that you want to use your money, then ask them, if you can pick their brain on some things that they did. And this would just be like a business mentor or a career mentor. The main difference is you would be specifically asking them about how they got to where they are, financially speaking. And just a word of caution, you have to be sensitive with the subject. You don't want to just, all of a sudden start asking them how much is in their 401k or retirement account. But basically what you're asking them is, what did they learn along the way? Did they have help? Chances are they have a whole team of people helping them with their finances. Ask them, maybe some tips they did early on to get ahead or get to where they are, financially speaking, and kind of see this as, in life, I just always look up to people who I want to take something, like if I like something about them, a quality or what they're doing in life, then I just kind of study them. I study them as if they are my mentors. So sometimes you don't have a personal relationship with them.
I was just going to ask that if you prefer to actually have that mentorship relationship, or if you can just look at them as a role model. And one of the people that you mentioned was the rich guy. What's his name? Ramit.
Oh, Ramit?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you actually know him personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and can you tell us a little bit about that resource? Because I definitely wanted to mention that. And it's one that I started following, I think, last year. So I still feel like a lot of people are just discovering his work.
Oh, yeah. So I Will Teach You to Be Rich is his website. I will teach you to be rich.com, Ramit's AT. So he started as more of a finance blogger, probably 9-10 years ago. I don't know. And he just wrote a book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And his philosophy is very similar to mine, which is, educate yourself, put in systems in your financial life. So it takes a lot of the work out, and that way you can also manage your behaviors. But his, same philosophy, find how much you need every year to live this life that you want, and then figure out how to make that income. And I think now he talks a lot more about making more money, finding your dream job, negotiating for better salaries and raises, or raising your fees if you're a business owner. But he definitely is living, his message. He has a great business. He's think about lifestyle too, not just only about money, but living rich in all areas of your life.
I think it's funny that I brought that up. I didn't mean to throw it away from your resource, because you actually have a money class coming up soon, which I think is going to be great for a lot of people. And Terry J. Moore brought up on the chat the idea that she's looking at both her business and personal finances when she gets together with herself and does her little money date. And I think that's something that's interesting, because today what you've given us is the 5 tips for really personal finances, is the way that I look at it, which is just as important as your business. Currently, I'm putting all of my thoughts into how can I get the business, the revenue increased and that type of a thing. All of my savings I'm putting into my business. But at the same time, I think it is important, like you said, to look at these basic things so that you're able to project and actually know how much money it is that you need in order to live that authentic life that we were talking about at the beginning. And so number 4, your 4th tip is to test out strategies in your own life.
Yeah, so I think it's almost like health and fitness. A lot of times, there's like these your friend who might be into paleo, but you tried paleo and it doesn't work for you, or maybe CrossFit or yoga. You have to find, just like you do in health and fitness, what works for you with your financial life. So one of the main examples is budgeting. Some people love resources like mint.com or Quicken that automatically track your expenses every month. I actually just prefer an Excel spreadsheet. So I've designed a custom Excel spreadsheet that I I use myself, and then I also design it for my clients, sometimes pen and paper. You have to test out strategies in your life to figure out what works and what doesn't work for you, and just know that there's no overall right or wrong way to do things. Again, it's just coming back to what fits into your lifestyle. How do you have fun with your finances and do just that? So
Brittney, your 5th and final tip then is to hire a certified financial planner. And I definitely want to hear more about this. We featured you on YFE Chat in the past, and hiring a planner or someone that is helping you within that, I think, is very mysterious for a lot of people, especially people in their early 20s. So if you can, definitely elaborate a little bit more on that, but also talk to us about what the actual process of starting with someone looks like. I mean, do you have to open up your entire financial history with them? How much does it cost? That type of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, having a certified financial planner help you in your finances is an investment that could last your lifetime. And I think it's so important to just see a financial planner as just another financial professional that you need on your team. Just like you might have a business coach, a CPA, maybe an attorney. We all kind of know what we should be doing with our money, save for the future, spend less than you earn. But the reality is it gets hard, and there's a lot of moving parts in your daily life. If you're managing a business, a career, kids, family, there's just tons of things you have to worry about. So hiring somebody to do a lot of that work for you, put together a plan, help you strategize and prioritize what you need to work on this year, right? Because sometimes we get very overwhelmed with all these things we have to do. So, simplify your financial strategy so that you have a focus and you know what you're working on, and help you implement those things and educate you and hold you accountable. I mean, those are all things that a good CFP would do, and definitely what I do with my clients.
So now, a lot of the things that you're talking about are very similar to what I feel like a trainer would do, someone in fitness would do, and you'd hire them and they'd coach you along, and it sounds like that's what a planner does. You know in fitness that you should eat less calories and eat the good food and work out, yet at the same time you still hire someone that tells you to do it. So with that being said, is it a similar process and similar costs associated, like as if you were to work with a fitness trainer?
I think so. It's exactly the same concept. We all need help. And the people who can admit that earlier, I think, are more successful long term, because we can't do things alone. And everybody charges different. So CFPs all work differently. Some, charge a flat fee for their services. That's how I do it. Some charge commissions, or they charge you a percentage of how much money that they manage. But for example, I just do financial planning for clients. So I no longer manage clients' money, and that way I can really just give them unbiased, objective advice on the planning side, and then help them figure out what they need in all areas of their financial life. But I tell this to everybody. It is an investment. You do have to pay. My services are not free. But when you pay for something and you commit to it, you bring a different energy and I think just motivation to the table. And it's almost like, okay, well, I paid you to help me, so I'm going to really, do my best to make this really valuable.
It's like what we were talking about yesterday in GenCast. What you focus on expands, what you where you put your energy grows. And so I think that's the same alignment. Now, you have a money class coming up on January 27th. Is that something that is more free informational, or is this an actual class that you're again putting that financial investment into? Tell us more about it.
Yep. So the class opens up January 27th. It's an ongoing, so people can enroll in it at any time. However, it's a 6-week course, so it's very specific. And once you become a student, you're going to get your curriculum. But it's online, webinar based. There's bonus video interviews, and then there's a private Facebook group. It's $297, and you get access and lifetime access, or for as long as the class is open. And I think, again, that level of financial commitment will bring a new energy and new focus to the table. Make sure that you're actually going through the webinars where I teach you personal finance strategies and money management tips. But I think one of the biggest values and benefits of the class is that private Facebook group where you're going to be able to share and support other women, entrepreneurs, people who are enrolled in this class on their journeys too, because I think that support group is so important. And so not only will you get the curriculum, but you're going to get the support of other people who are experiencing maybe same struggles or challenges or milestones and successes. And I think, the more we can all come together and talk about money and support one another on our financial lives, the better it will be for everybody. So they can come over to financiallywisewomen.com. They can get on the list, get the free Financially Wise toolkit in the meantime, which is jam-packed with worksheets and resources. And then starting next week, we're going to start sending out emails about the money class, all the details, how they can enroll in the class. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Brittney Castro. And you know me, I'm always around. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I think, again, I love to be a resource for women. And I just really don't want people, women, entrepreneurs, men, to feel like they're alone on their financial journey. So even if you just have a random question, just know that I'm here. And I'll do my best to help you in any way I can.
Brittney, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day. So, everyone, we've been watching Brittney Castro. She is, and I'm looking into the wrong camera. Sorry, guys. She's the founder of Financially Wise Women. Hopefully, you'll all check out her money class, because it is something in 2014 I feel like a lot of us will be getting into, looking at our finances, especially at the beginning of the year. So, again, make sure that you check that out. You've been watching the daily live webcast called GenCast. It's every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on myfelive.com. I'm your host, Jennifer Donogh. You can tweet me at Jennifer Donogh, and definitely stay in touch with us by joining our mailing list at yfe.me/mailed it. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. My guest is Vicki from smallbusinessgal.com. She is one of our hosts, along with Stacey Harris of the Bootstrap Book Club's reading or discussion of Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. And so we're going to be talking about the book. We're going to be talking about Vicki. She's actually interviewed Gary Vaynerchuk a couple times now, so it's going to be really fun. And I hope to see you back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on yfelive.com. Thanks so much, guys.